We just took a quick break then, definitely not re-recording this part. But Captain Peng was telling me about his son being a second generational wrestler. Well, he's not had his first match yet, but he's training at the moment. When do you think he will step foot in the ring and have his first match?
Well, as I said, wrestling is all about dedication. It's about the effort you put in and the effort you want to do. It's like me, I used to drive every Sunday to train, however long it took, all day long, whatever, and driving to shows X, Y, Z. So initially, when he said, "I wanted to be a wrestler," I was like, "Okay, cool. There's the bus stop.
Yeah.
Make your own way there. I'm not taking you there. Go and get on a bus." Which also gives him that independence. He's 14 now. I used to take a bus from when I was 9 or whatever, stupid when you grew up in our generation, let's say.
Yeah,
So
about
for
10 or
him,
11. Yeah.
they're a hobbit generation, aren't they? They all sit in their houses like a little hermit crab. So for me, it was like you need that. Get up, go, drive. There's the bus stop. One bus. That's all it takes. One bus and a 5 minute walk. That's all he needs. So for me, it's like if you want to do it, that's what you're doing. So he started off taking the bus. Um, Made friends as you do. You go wrestling training, you make friends, and then now he gets the bus some days, but also gets picked up by some of the wrestlers and some of the people training. And for me, it shows that wanting to grow and wanting to do things independently and having to do these things independently, and it helps. It's helping him grow. So, first match. They have an academy show on the 15th of November. I mean, it's only just friends and family of these
Yeah.
of the wrestlers. Bear in mind the last one they had, the last one was absolutely unreal. So, sorry, can I just veer off on this, right? So,
Go
the
for it, mate.
last Academy show, they had a 10-year-old versus a 10-year-old. And I know other companies do it, but for me, watching these 10-year-olds grow through their training, because every now and then I pop down and watch X, Y, Z. Um, I've seen, and it was a really good match. It was a fun match, and the whole show was absolutely brilliant. So you had the older group against some of the younger group. I touched on, I mentioned Raymond O'Reilly, who is a
Mm.
phenomenal young talent. He wrestled a 9-year-old or 10-year-old, whatever it was, and that was a fun match. And we got to wrestle, and all the other guys got to do this. And some of the other guys from the adult class, the ones who I'm going to mention one person here, Ryan Russell. So Ryan Russell, who's just started to get out now, he is somebody that only started doing it to push his son, and was only like, okay, I'm going to do it as well. Let's do it together. So, and his journey and his drive. He's got a bit of an old school head as well, which is brilliant. Bret Hart is his favorite, so he loves that sort of old school style. So you can see him doing bits and bobs that people want to see in this day and age. But so yeah, like seeing these boys and watching this academy show and watching them grow on this academy show was brilliant. And then it came to the main event, and I have never cried watching a wrestling match
Do tell.
until that day.
What brought on the tears?
So John Moores, who runs Genesis Professional Wrestling, he runs the academy, he runs all this, that, and the other. And as I said, the last couple of years, the company has grown for the good. It's some really good talent in there, and this, that, and the other. And there was this young guy named Will um, who has autism. So he wrestles under the name of Autistic Titan. So he embraces his autism, and he's a good lad. He's a really good lad. Um, and he had his first match, main event versus the owner of the company, John Morse. And again, see what we were saying about whoop whoop, yeah, and oi oi and all that jazz, yeah. He has this thing. He was going zoop 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 zoop. The whole crowd, the venue was rocking,
Yeah.
and he was doing this because he's finisher. He's got a little devastating left hook as his finisher, and John, being the absolute pro he is, put this kid over the moon and gave him a platform to work on. And John's known him since the start of his journey, and he watched and he kind of like, well, let's go and then see what happens. And Will, he did. brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then he grabbed the mic and then he put me to tears. So again, I think the only reason for that is because you understand again, same thing I was saying with ACW in Cyprus. You understand what this can actually do for people and what it can bring to people.
Yeah.
And he grabbed the mic and he was like, the quote was, I remember watching John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 27 and 28, or I think it was 27, 28. Anyway, and he was like, and I knew one day that I was going to do this. Flood to tears. I was like, no way.
I didn't think
Um,
it'd take this direction, by the way, in the podcast. Just
Sorry.
emotion. No, mate, it's awesome. I love it. I
And I
love
was
it.
like, I was sitting there crying, like, well, not bawling crying, but like,
Yeah.
a tear roll around. You feel emotional because knowing the fact that how long I've done this for and knowing what it's done for me in terms of enabling me to gain friends and journeys and this, that, and the other, and create stories. And I was sitting there going this, and then he turned around and he went, "And the Peckham Playboy," and I went through. Then he proceeded to challenge me for my title. So me being the heel, I get up. I'm like, I don't know how to do this because
Yeah.
in theory, my character will kick you in the face right now, but I can't do that. I can't ruin your shit. um, so yeah, their last show was absolutely phenomenal. It was good to see these guys get that little platform and that opportunity to perform and
Yeah.
get these youngsters on shows and seeing those next guys, the older guys, get onto that. So yeah, it was next one's 15th of November. I don't know if it's only in house, but hopefully, fingers crossed, Felix gets onto it. He's pushing. He's doing well. So we see how it goes. He wants a mask gimmick. So I think the next point is to try and get a mask. I'm like, do what you want to do. A lot of good feedback. I mean, I'm constantly getting guys at the shows going, Felix is doing well. Do you train him? And I'm like, nope. I've had zero input into
Really? I was
his.
gonna say like no input at all. Like just okay, the
No,
temptation's there. It's my son. Oh, I'm itching to just get involved. Fair play to
no.
you.
Do you know why?
Just maybe like make his own journey into wrestling, like you said earlier about the boss.
Making his own journey, and I have faith in the people around him and the coaches around him. As
Yeah.
I said, those older heads that are getting on shows like Christian and Ryan and Raymond and Will West and all these other guys that are there um, on the shows coming up and kind of like locally doing shows as well. So they're gaining that experience to then pass on to Felix and gaining that. I mean, everything they do is safe as hell. So and to have that feedback of are you training him knows that he's doing really well and he pushed from the kids class to the adult class pretty quickly. He was doing the kids class and the adult class some weekends, so in that sense he's helping with the kids class some weekends now, so which is it shows he wants it.
Progressed, mate, progressed. But that's awesome. I do wish him good luck, and there might be tears flowing again from you, but I honestly do wish you all good luck. That'd be awesome. Just a few more questions, mate, and then
Well mate,
I'll let you enjoy
sorry.
the rest of your day. No, mate, don't be silly. Enjoy the chat, honestly, mate. It's been good. So I want to ask because you've talked about his upcoming debut and other people's debuts. Let's talk about your debut, your first ever in-ring match.
um my so fun fact, my first in-ring match was televised.
Really?
Yep. So back in the day, they had the wrestling channel on
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
So
great.
my first ever match. Bear in mind, I'd been training for 3 months. That was it. 3 months. I didn't have a clue what the fuck was going on. I didn't know. The last thing I knew was The Rock and John Cena, the Rock and Stone Cold, not John Cena. Rock and Stone Cold. That was me. That was
Yeah.
my generation. I'm like, and then I was like, yeah, sweet. You got a. It was a squash match. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Brilliant. The Dominator, Stu Allen. And then I got to the venue, and then we had a little conversation. He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Right.
So we had a good chat. It was like, so rather than it being a squash match, it was I'll give you a couple of bits just because you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Um, and then he proceeded to beat the shit out of me.
Televised, mate, on the wrestling channel though for your debut. Um, can you explain the wrestling channel for someone that is living under a rock? No, no, I'll let them off now because it was a while ago.
It
But
was a
when I
while
put it,
back. It was a place where they did sort of play some old school wrestling and some, couple of different bits and bobs for a different generation. But it was good. It was what it was, and the fact that I got to watch myself from that point onwards, I was literally on there every week, growing as a performer, growing as a wrestler. And I kind of did my wrestling journey the old school way, so to speak. What I mean by that is learning on the job,
Mm.
wrestling those older heads, wrestling those people that have been doing it for years, kind of probably the position I'm in now, but maybe a bit older than me, some of these guys. So,
Who were some of these guys, some of the older heads that you were up
John
to?
Ritchie,
Yeah, yeah, no.
yes, I remember John Ritchie, Carl Kramer. Um, they're people that obviously don't wrestle anymore, or this, that, and the other. And also the older Hammerlock guys. Like, so you had people like John Moores, who was Johnny Love back then. So he now who runs the Gen Pro School, and all these guys that have been doing it on the circuit, doing the camps and this, that, and the other. So I had them all around me, and I had the the people that were sort of with me, and we were all growing and achieving shit. They were going around. I got to travel, got to make so many friends, like people like Cara Noir, Pete Dunne, uh, all these people that when they were both all starting, we all kind of wrestled together, and it was a journey, so to speak.
That's cool, man. Recently you got to wrestle Scotty to Hotty
Yeah,
last month, mate. Tell me about that wrestling legend, mate. And you wouldn't think, like, because he's been around for so long. I mean, he looks great still.
yeah. No, he was. It was. I think I cut a promo on it saying I don't know how I feel, and that is generally it. Like if I was like 25 or 26, I'd be like, yeah, this is absolutely phenomenal. But I'm on the back end now. So I see myself. I would have rather wrestled his son.
Yeah.
I would have rather helped his son and guided his son for a match. So what actually? So it was a singles match, yeah, me versus Scotty, and my tag partner I was talking about earlier, Tyler Walker.
Yeah,
So
Tyler Walker.
he was wrestling his son. Um, and then what happened was, as wrestling does, Tyler and Keegan were wrestling, and I ended up slipping into the ring. Let's make this a tag team match,
Shenanigans.
and it was a tag team match, and I purposely gave everything to Tyler. What I mean by this is I gave him that opportunity to wrestle Scotty. By that, I mean mix it up with Scotty, have a little thing with Scotty.
Mm.
I gave him the worm.
So many people would have fought for that, wouldn't they? Just be done by the worm in the ring. That doesn't sound right saying that, like if you're not a wrestling fan. But but
But
it was
I gave it to him because
yeah,
for him as a 23-year-old lad, came back, it was like, I've just
yeah,
taken the worm. And and that made me feel good, if you know what I mean. I'm
yeah,
like, I mean, I've not that I've wrestled Scotty Toy before, but for me, I see myself as at that back end where not back end, but I'm giving to those next generation. I'm helping them grow, helping them.
generals. Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
only reason why I decided to help Tyler Walker,
Mm.
kind of bits and bobs in the ring and get him to grow and get him out elsewhere and X Y Z. I mean, he doesn't need my help. Don't get me wrong, because he is a brilliant talent in a
Yeah,
wrestler
he's
himself.
been doing it for like a short period of time as well, and he's
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the point. And like, and there's a couple of pointers that I can give him and help him and guide him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the finished article, but I've been doing it long enough to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it,
mm,
and
definitely.
that's wrestling.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, got the knowledge
Had
there.
a really good, really took about hour and a half chat with Scotty T about wrestling and about the journey of wrestling and how it's kind of like. So he coached at WWE, well, was a wrestler at WWE. He's currently a coach at AEW as well. So his son, luckily his son has a name to help him guide him. So he doesn't need to. He's good though. Don't get me wrong. He's a really good talent, and he isn't what we like to call a modern wrestler. Um, because if you think of the modern wrestler, you think of fucking flips, spots, this, that. He's not that style, so he gives a different aura, and him coming over and wrestling on the British scene a little bit more gives him that little bit different edge than what they were doing over that way.
Definitely.
So it was good to it was good. I enjoyed it. It was an opportunity, and I was thankful for the opportunity. But I'm quite glad it turned out the way it did, and I gave that opportunity to someone else as well. Um, but I had a good chat, and we had a really good conversation about wrestling as a whole and how it's not it's not where I don't want to sound like an old head, but it's not the way it should be. But not the way it not should be, but in terms of the way of storytelling, the way of you portraying a match, the way you're doing things, the reason for doing things, why you're doing things, how you're doing things, and how that matters. Again, it comes to the whole step out of the curtain like no one knows you.
Yeah.
Okay. I step out the curtain. Yes, initially they're not gonna know who I am, but within the first 10 seconds, they're definitely gonna know that this guy's a bellend.
Boo this dickhead.
But that's not through that's just the aura you give,
Yeah.
and that's through the attitude you take. Like Freddie, choo choo, straight away vibes.
Yeah.
And then you got the heel character who comes out and just looks really, really angry. And I can't, it strikes me so much. The angry heel just sits there like, I'm
Mm.
an angry kid, boo me. But I don't. I just come out, I literally raise my hands in the air like this, and I stand there. And that's the automatic, I don't like this guy.
He thinks he's better than me. Fuck him.
Yeah, he thinks he's better. That's it. That's it. You ain't even watched it, and you know the vibe. And it's like,
Yeah.
so yeah. So having a good conversation about that and how important getting the right story in this match in a match is good. So yeah, it was a really good chat. To be fair, really good chat. But I
Nice.
had the same conversation with Tom Latimer, the NWA champion.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it used to be Bram in TNA.
Oh, with Nick Aldis, like they don't have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hardcore matches and stuff. Yeah.
So yes, same conversation with him. He was like, it's just obviously this day and age, the wrestling is it's like anything. Like if you think about it, when I came on the scene, all those older people were saying the same thing about me. You know, it's different, but you learn and we grow. And if you think about the Ospreys and this, that, and the other, think about Osprey 10, 15 or 10 years ago, whatever. He's not doing the same shit he was doing then. He's completely changed the way he does stuff, and he's found that ability to tell the story in the match and the reasons for doing stuff and the
Yeah.
why you do stuff.
I think him going to Japan did help in terms of like, okay, just take a moment to sell, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
like get a facial in, sort of, show your reaction. I think, I mean, I remember seeing him with Paul Robinson, just blew my mind as a fan.
yeah,
But then, like, just you forget some of the spots because it's just so quick and there's so much of it, and that's awesome. But sometimes let me digest it a little bit.
yeah.
But
Like I was when I first started out. Don't get me wrong, 450s, shooting stars, all that jazz. I could do it all, but did they let me do it? No.
mm,
They were like, no, you can do one thing, but that one thing meant a lot.
definitely,
Do you know what I mean? I remembered that. Like you just said, I remembered that one spot. I ain't gonna remember the whole bloody sequence. I'm gonna
that's
remember the
it.
one bit from it, and that was all it was. I hit moonsault or hit something a bit flashy. And I'm like, oh, I like that. So yeah, I kind of learned from that, and just that's the way I kind of adapted my style, really.
And you build to that move as well. Fans are, oh, something could happen. This could be the finish, as opposed to, I've seen him do it already. He's doing that again. Just. But I think everyone's different. Sometimes it does work for those talents, that just want to, go million miles per hour, and that's just
Like my
that.
match, my last title match. Sorry, my last title match against Christian Croft. The story was a spear,
Mm,
and that was all it was. It was a spear building up to his top rope spear, building up, building up, building up. So when he hit the move, they knew that that was the move because we've taken them on this journey of they know it's the move, they know it's the move, they know it's the move. Can you hit it? It literally got to the point in the match. They were going off the top, but they knew they wanted to see it. They wanted to see that move, and then when he hit it, they all just blew up.
yeah.
and then maybe the wily vet rolled out the ring.
I love
I
just the
took the
vet
top
then.
rope spear and then rolled out the ring. You can't
Um,
beat him that way.
got a fun question for you. It's the last question.
Sweet.
I say this, I probably might squeeze in one or two, but I know your time's a bit limited moment at the time recording. But this is the fun question. This doesn't have to be about wrestling either, but it doesn't have to be about Arsenal as well. Come on, so oh, for fuck's sake, it's football again. But you're the guest, mate. So, Hazan, please let me know three dream dinner guests for your dream party, fiction, non-fiction, dead or alive, past or present. It can be anyone. It can be a fucking cartoon character. But three people. Give me a reason to the first guest. Go.
First guess, probably my favorite wrestler of all time, The Rock.
Dun, dun.
Just purely because it would just be listening to the stories, listening to him chat. He does come off as this quite big persona, but I think you could have a decent, really good, deep conversation with him. And obviously, that's wrestling wise. That is my favorite wrestler. That's That's the generation I watched
Yeah.
essentially back into the 2000s, back in the 90s, early 2000s. That was my generation. So yeah,
Favorite
The
rock
Rock.
film. What's your favorite rock film? Or
Oh,
Dwayne?
film.
Yeah. Oh no,
Um,
sorry. What do you mean?
you mean match?
No, just like actual films that he's done. I mean, you can squeeze a match as well, but I like to ask this because everyone's got sort of a different answer to Dwayne
Yeah.
Johnson's filmography.
Um, favorite movies. I like more. I say his early stuff. I don't know. He's just pretty much action, isn't he? So
Hmm.
majority of his movies are the same. I liked the Kevin Hart. I love the fact the movies with Kevin Hart because they bounce off each other so well.
Yeah.
I like what was that? What was the one they did that where there were two cops? Uh,
Oh,
uh,
wait, who's the cop with
you
the
know,
what's with Samuel Jackson?
yeah, no, with Kevin Hart.
Central Intelligence.
Yes, that's the one. I enjoyed that one. That was quite fun. But in terms of his movies, it's not what I like him for. Obviously, I like him for wrestling.
Yeah. No, that's
And
fair.
Rock Hogan WrestleMania, that was my favorite match of all time. It was just a phenomenal match.
First few matches of it, it's when Hogan does his first Hulk up since he's been back in WWE, and the fans actually are just roaring, and the Rock's reaction is selling it, just like what the fuck? And the Rock, and obviously Hogan knows what he's doing at this point. Like he's
Yeah,
like,
100%. They all know what they're
oh, do you
doing.
know what? I'm gonna fucking baby faces. I don't give a shit from
Yeah, yeah,
here. And it worked. And the
100%.
Rock works his ass off because we know Hogan's past his prime, unfortunately. But and I think he's actually injured going into the match as well.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
it was unreal. It was unreal. I've actually got it tattooed on the back of my leg
have you?
in dinosaur form. So I've got two T-Rexes,
Yeah,
one with like a tash and the hair, and one with the rock with the eyebrow and icon versus icon written at the bottom.
that's
So
sick.
that was just my tribute to that match, and it was
Yeah.
my favorite match of all time. I remember when I posted it, it was Sid Scala messaged me. I was like, "That is my favorite. That is my favorite tattoo ever. It is my favorite match ever as well." He did a little video the other day on his training, hustle training, just sort of just depicting the match and sort of saying about the match. Anyway, we're going back onto wrestling. But anyway, sweet. Next person.
Wicked. Next person, next guest.
Um, I guess Thierry Henry again, football wise.
Legend, and he
I
just
get. I
the
think
goat.
having Thierry, yeah, it's just the go having that chilled persona around you and having that conversation about football. And do you reckon The Rock and Thierry Henry would have a great conversation as well?
I
I
think they
think
would, but
I
I
think
think
the
they might
conversation.
get a bit preachy by the end of it. I think they both want to like outquote one another.
Yeah, yeah, I think that'd be. But anyway, I think those two because that essentially is me in a nutshell: football and wrestling and family and kids and wife, and that's pretty much my life: football, wrestling, and kids. um, last but not least, all right, sweet. Last person, Dave DeVille. I don't know if you know Dave DeVille,
No,
but
no.
Dave DeVille, again, as I was saying to you about a wrestler that wrestled with me and grew with me. So Dave DeVille was probably a couple of years ahead of me wrestling wise. We're the same age, but he was he had experience prior to wrestling where I was wrestling at the time. But see, when you like step into a room and you just lock eyes with someone, and
Mm.
then instantaneously you're just the best of friends.
Yeah,
And
I know the moments. Yeah.
that was it. We just fell in love. It was just absolutely like the best. And since that point, we've both grown as human beings. I mean, it's been what I've known Dave well over 15 years now, probably coming up to 20. Um, he moved from, he used to live, which was weird, really weird because we used to go wrestle, do what we got to do. I used to take him home to Buckingham Palace, nonetheless, because he used to work for the Queen
No
as a
way.
footman.
Whoa, that's a
Yeah, he
posh
used to
friend to
work.
have, isn't it?
Yeah, so he used to work. Yeah, he used to work as a footman for the Queen. So he used to work in the palace and this, that, and the other. So I used to take him there. I remember one night going in, and then all of a sudden, this gun being faced at my head, like, "Who are you?" And Dave got out.
Credentials.
It's fine. He's with me. He may be from Peckham, but he's definitely with me. Because I used to just have to drop him there by the back entrance
I was gonna
into the
say,
court.
like, where's the car park? Like,
I didn't go for the. There was a back entrance that everyone went in, not the front. I did go for the front gate of Buckingham Palace. Uh, so yeah, in terms of it, like just great, this bond, this friendship. He was best man at my wedding. It was it was a friendship that kind of like started from the start. We grew together. He moved up to like Chesterfield, that sort of way, about 10 plus years ago. You know, he's always been interested in my family. We always go up there since Felix was little. We've been up there, my daughter, and now we've grown as a family. It's like we can't come to your house anymore because he works for a manor. He works in a manor house down there, so
yeah.
he works as like a he kind of looks after the family, so to speak, and their staff and shit like that. So anyway, so now we got too big. He's just had a little kid as well, and they have dogs. I mean, his wife. So what we do is we kind of meet in the middle somewhere. So we've kind of met around about Norwich somewhere, kind of in the middle, a couple of hours each. That'll do, rather than us drive up 5, 6 hours up to him. So we meet in the middle. So yeah, but Dave, as a human being, is one of the most amazing human beings you're ever going to meet. He's so kind, so generous, and I think, despite the fact that he's a Chelsea fan, he would still pop to sit
Not
in
too
the
late to
little
cut it off.
cherry on me. Yeah,
Not too late.
that's it. He's gone out your books now. If you think about the generation what we grew up, the drug bars and this, that, and the other, like the amount of banter we had.
Mourinho and Wenger.
Yeah, it was the banter we had was unreal. But he would be that third person, 100%. I love Dave to bits, and he's probably my favorite human being in the world.
That's a great answer, man. No one has said their best friend before. I've heard people say like the missus or, maybe like a loved one, or I think someone said someone, the neighbor or something before. But
Yeah.
the actual best friend, wicked answer, mate. And it's as I said, it's Hakan, sorry, apologize. It's your meal. Three dream did a guess. Great answer to why you want them there. And I love it. Where can the listeners find you on social media so they can keep up to date with you and your career and potentially your second generation son, what he's got lined up as well?
Um, Peckham Playboy on Facebook, Instagram. It is on X as well, but I don't use it. I'm too old for that. To be fair, I only use Instagram and Facebook just to keep up with things and post my socials on there in terms of my matches and keep in contact with wrestling wise. So yeah, Peckham Playboy, search me up, you find me out there at most socials for there. So yeah, definitely.
Wicked, mate, wicked. And why are you the Peckham Playboy?
I always get this question because I was like growing up in Old Kent Road my whole life from Peckham, and it just came.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of female attention, and then it just kind of like happened. And I've kind of like it's a character at the end of the day. It's a character that has grown, and then the Captain Pen gimmick. I mean, that was added on in the last.
I like that moniker. I think that's pretty cool. It's
Do you know what? Yeah, it was that. So I stopped for about a year.
yeah.
I got a new job and all that jazz, as you do. And I was sitting there like, I want to do it again. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. Anyway, then I went to London School Lucha Libre, and I was like, I need to do this again. My friend Costa, who again, I don't know if you know Costa. Costa's did progress with Malik and this, that, and the other. So he's still going about. He wrestles. He goes down to Burridge's school as well, and is friends with Cara and a while. But anyway, he was like, "Come down, come down, come down." I don't know if you've ever heard of London School Lucha Libre when it was about, but
Years
it
ago,
was
yeah, I remember like when it was doing shows and stuff quite regularly, wasn't it?
it was unreal. It was absolutely unreal. Like a facility that, and Burridge does it still today. He starts off his session with music, dancing, screaming at the top of your voice, and imagine going in there when you've been on the wrestling scene for 10 years already, and going in there and there's this fucking fast music going, and everyone's still like a it just can only be described as like a satanic ritual around a fire. Like just he does it all the time, and he's got a reason for it, and
Yeah,
it's you're standing in the middle of a ring in your pants. You got to feel comfortable in screaming and yelling, and these are your peers. Essentially, he
yeah,
does it for that reason. Are you willing to do that, or are you not? I mean, wrestling at the end of the day is entertainment, right? So I can have a comedy match one side, and and then a serious match the other side. If everyone done everything the same, then it's not going to be a show, is it? It's that's the point. And he does this dance and this it's phenomenal. And from that point, yeah, it was just I was sitting there going, oh, I love Christian Captain Charisma.
yeah.
Peng is just such a London term,
It is, man. It is.
and it's such a London term. And I was like, Captain
One of
Peng,
my best
it's
mates
good.
says it all the time. Just like,
Yeah, I've got yeah. So it was like has to be done. So I added that on there, and then again, it was the Turkish delight added on top of that, and
yeah,
it used to come out with the fucking. They used to come out with a note inside my pants and then dig inside my pants and pull this long list of names out and then get the person to read all the names. And so that was fun. There's a really cool picture of me and Charles Crowley prior to being Charles Crowley and him
yeah.
standing there looking at me like this with me reading. I literally have the note stuck on my mouth like that and getting him to read it. So yeah, it was that was essentially where it came from. Sitting down at work one day. By work, I mean a train. So I was driving a train. And I was sitting there going, what's going on? And then I was like, yeah, that'll do.
Wicked, mate. Wicked. It's such a good moniker. But thank you for coming on, mate. Does mean a lot. We were actually going to do this a bit earlier, but then went on holiday. Both did well, Edinburgh if you count it, but
Yeah,
Cyprus is the real place to go on holiday. And
brilliant.
glad obviously it's flown by. So this two-part episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. Give Captain Peng. I just love it. Just honestly, just give him a follow on his social media. They'll be in the description below. Give me a follow. Also, my social media handles will be in the description below. But for now, everyone, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for What Do You Call It? Podcast!